Well, the world's government's campaign to censor everything, put all information behind ID laws, and basically destroy every sense of freedom of speech on the internet, it's still going on, and it is gaining more and more power. It is expanding like a fungus that has been left to fester for far too long. People are fighting back, people are sharing information, people are making videos. However, there is one thing that I have not seen being discussed, and I need to discuss it right now with you because this might be the biggest undercover issue that we have. Greetings, ladies and gents, my name is Helzo and I am sick and tired of this censorship. But yeah, I'm also sick and I'm barely keeping conscious, so please pay attention. So the whole thing with the internet is still going on. We have tons and tons of stuff that are happening every single day. It's getting worse, possibly by the hour at this point. More and more governments are just implementing outrageous ID laws, verification laws, and basically coordinating in a very weird manner about everything that has been happening, from censoring video games, from ID banning platforms, up to video card settings programs that possibly want you to be of 18 in order to tinker with the computer. It's weird. It is very weird. Like this post from Pirate Nation, which is a screenshot from the New York Magazine, their intelligence part. Age verification is coming for the whole internet, and this is a article that has been published on August 2nd. I can show you also this from Mr. Obvious. Breaking: Zoomers cannot adjust their NVIDIA graphic card settings on their gaming PCs anymore because they aren't 18 thanks to the Online Safety Act. Now that's in the UK, of course, but again, why would you need something like this? We have a post from Revixy from a few days ago that says that PayPal has blocked a payment processor, and this is from the Visa and MasterCard with all the collective shout section of the online censorship that they're trying to ban unwanted games, unsolicited games, or however they call it, harmful and dangerous games, you know, stuff that they don't enjoy. They think that they're harmful to children. It has gotten to the point that there is an actual petition with already over 63,000 signatures for an immediate general election in the UK. This is how bad it is, and this is a post from yesterday. And if we go to the live page, there's already 133,000 signatures, which is above the limit for this to be presented to Parliament. This is how bad it is happening, guys. This is how bad it is. Basically setting aflame every person on the internet that has used to be just a spectator, to be someone who casually enjoys the pleasures of the internet, viewing posts, watching a clip on YouTube, but buying stuff online, and just enjoying their time of subtle escapism on the computer or on their mobile phone, maybe playing a game or two or something, and just enjoying that time because it is a free time and nobody is asking him pesky questions about who it is, what ID does he have, or if he's gonna smile for the verification pictures before they can basically buy a smoothie, or as in a real case, order a pizza. And as you can see, the petition is gaining rapid success. It is already gaining a lot more in the few minutes that we have been talking. We also have the Repeal the Online Safety Act, which has been going on, which the government already responded very openly that they're not going to look at it. They're not going to pay any attention to it, despite being 5 times above the minimum of signatures that it needs. And that is pretty much exactly what bugs me in the whole situation. So now we all have the thing that we know. We have the collective and not collective shout, the collective efforts of governments and organizations to ban either games or ban content from people below the age of 18, all in the pursuit of protecting children, which is a bullshit reason to begin with, because the protection of children from online content should be placed on the parents. They should be the one controlling them, and they do have tools to do it. They have child-friendly phones that are locked for a lot of content. They have YouTube for kids. They have parental controls on their mobile plans. They have supervision that they can implement on laptops, tablets, mobile phones, and everything. They have the control to do it. However, they cannot do full control, and nobody can actually do full control, because kids socialize with other kids, and not every parent is going to be the same, and they are going to be exposed to something in the real world nonetheless. You cannot close off every child in a room and not let them out until they're 18, and that's when good parenting is actually coming into place, in order to teach your child the responsibilities and how to handle situations and what is good and what is not, and make them think critically, which is a very key word in what I want to say. Critically thinking of the things that they see and make their own opinions. However, this is where we get to the portion of the video that I really wanted to discuss. All of this is happening very, very openly. They're, first of all, doing this massive push on many fronts, be it on Visa and MasterCards with gaming, be it on online content, be it on several governments in the EU, in the UK, in the US and Mexico, going for full age verification, going for even biometric verification in the case of Mexico. They're going for full throttle to ban everything as soon as possible, and they're doing it very openly. They're not being subtle about it. They're not just passing laws and hoping nobody will take a look at it, or they're not being quiet about it. They're openly dismissing petitions. They're openly saying on TV that there will be task forces that are going to monitor adults. They're openly saying that they'll extradite people for not following these laws and stuff like that, that are all very controversial at the very least, and it would not be wise to speak of them so openly before these things are enacted. Which brings me to my tinfoil hat moment. This is something that they have prepared for a long time. They have been at it for at least several years, possibly ever since the lockdowns, and they have thought about this and they have planned this through, and what they're doing now is a very organized and very well planned strike, and the internet's response is something that they might expect. I hope that they have not expected for the outburst and the resistance to be that much, and that's foiling their plans. However, in my opinion, this is something that they have been predicting for a long time, and this is something that has been coming for a very long time. That is why they're so open about it. I have seen a lot of controversial laws being passed locally here and in other countries, and they have always been commented after they have been implemented fully or they have been voted in. It's always a little bit of a hush-hush when something so controversial and so potentially damaging the reputation of a set party or angering of people, especially people who enjoy their anonymity on the internet are. So having this means that they're not really worried about that, and they have contingency plans, which is something that I think we should be on the lookout. Now, talking about this is probably one of the best ways to do it. We need to continue talking about it. More and more people need to bring this to light, even rehash the same thing, just having a huge outcry, because every single creator, every single person has the potential to reach at least several more people that otherwise wouldn't have learned about that or wouldn't know about the specific updates. So the more people are informed about how their freedoms are going to be taken away, be it in gaming, be it in the movies, be it in classic online verification, be it them being unable to even access a simple news website without ID verification, is something that we need to fight for. It's not about the porn, it's not about child safety, it is about censorship, it is about controlling your data, it is about having you on the record and having your data at the ready. Remember what Asman goes, that they already have it and they can subpoena it in the court. And yes, they could. However, if they subpoena it at the court, they will have to have a proper cause. And now, if they manage to get their way, they will have it at the ready in various servers. So do not give them this satisfaction. Internet anonymity is something that every person has the right to. Every person has the right to their data privacy, to their online identity being hidden for their own safety reasons. It is not applicable for someone to say, well, we are combating child predators and stuff like that. No, you have special organizations for that, and they do not include a global ban and a global verification. This not what they're saying. It is not to be trusted, and in my opinion, it will only serve to be a detrimental force globally. It is still mainly in the UK, but it will leak out to everywhere. They're already preparing bills and they're trying to pass it in the US. They're trying to do that in the EU, and once that happens, I personally think that we are utterly fucked. You won't be anonymous anymore. You won't be able to use the services anonymously, and you won't be able to have any sort of privacy in your life. You will be at an exponential and always potential danger of being found out, of being contacted, of something leaking inadvertently or inadvertently. And it is something that we can simply not allow. The internet is a dangerous place. I would agree with that, and we should be safe for it. That's why we use VPNs. That's why we protect our identity. That's why a lot of people don't show their faces. They don't use their real names and stuff like that. But this is on us. And if you want to protect children, then be more attentive as a parent and do not let the government take even that control from you. Be responsible and be vocal about it. That is the only thing that I can say about this video. There are not a lot of updates because they're constantly pouring new and new information, but this is something that we need to keep in mind. They're being very open about it, and that is the bad thing. But anyways, this is all I have for this video today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the like, subscribe button, and consider following me on my socials. If you also enjoy my content, consider becoming a member and support the channel and support homeless animals and animals in shelters. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Hazel, this is DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers and stay fresh.